What do girls never tell guys? I wasn't wearing that when you asked me, what are you wearing? As an autistic man in a 10-year relationship, I never got this one, LOL. Like, we started dating in high school broke as fuck. My assumption would have always been pajamas or whatever I saw her in at school. Even if we could afford lingerie at the time, I would have never thought she'd be casually sitting at home in it, waiting for me to ask. Whenever I say that to my partner, it's always, lie to me about what you're wearing. Then she just tells me nothing, even though she's out shopping or at work. My girl said nothing, and now that we live together, I can attest it was probably true, LOL. Rollerblades and a scuba mask. How much a single offhand comment can stick in their head for years. You'll forget you even said it, and they'll still remember the exact words and how it made them feel. I feel like this is talked about a lot, but never taken seriously enough. Not having to ask is one of the biggest love languages. Don't wait until we're upset to finally bring us flowers or write a short love note. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive. And no, your girl won't tell you she wants a flower. Just go around, pluck a flower from somewhere, and give it to her randomly. It's the small, thoughtful effort that makes our hearts melt. That I go to the bathroom before sex, not to pee, but to make sure I don't have any little pieces of toilet paper around my pusswally. That stuff gets everywhere sometimes. Ha ha ha, this is too real. I'm on a 2-ply budget. Pusswally. That's a new one on me, dog. I sometimes encounter it with a tongue. Just spit it out and proceed. I'm no frail boy. I've never told a partner they were a terrible lover or bad at sex. I would ask them to change things and say what I like and want. So many men are bad at sex. They come at it as if every woman is the same. Be teachable. That is better than thinking you're experienced. In my experience, women are also bad. Rarely engage, too passive, starfish, etc. Sex is something that should be talked about and experimented with in order for both people to enjoy it fully. Girls who are one of the bros are more sensitive than you think, especially if they are straight. They care about the friendship in a slightly different way than boys do, and yes, they do care about your opinion and passing comments, even if they play it cool. How much they share about you to their female friends. When we like someone, we already overthink every interaction. I do that too. That's just anxiety. Mental health has no gender, LOL. Men do this too. Dopamine is crazy stuff. I'm a dude and do the same thing, LOL. Honestly, one thing a lot of girls never outright tell guys is how much they notice the small stuff. Your tone, the way you treat people, whether you actually listen, and whether you make an effort without being asked. They also won't always say when they need reassurance, when something bothered them, or when they've been unhappy for a while because they don't want to seem needy or start conflict. And even though they might not admit it, they often remember the tiny moments of kindness way longer than you realize. I've tried telling my partner when I need reassurance or when something bothered me and I just want to talk it out. It somehow always ends disastrously. We have very different communication styles and very different flavors of autism. So I've stepped back to not telling him those things to avoid conflict. Closing. Parenthesis. Make an effort without being asked, and tiny moments of kindness. Those two things are everything. There are two types of people I notice the most. The ones who see someone struggle and just watch them, and the ones who see someone struggle and jump up to offer help. I want to be the second kind. I want to be with the second kind. This also applies to seeing something that needs doing and just doing it. If you see that the trash bin is full, just empty it. Don't wait for me to notice and empty it myself. And definitely don't say, I was gonna get that. 100% this. I remember the moment on our first date with my now husband that I decided I wanted to seriously date him. This was over 10 years ago, and I guarantee if I asked him about it, that he would have no recollection of it. My wife and I both are extremely monotone with a bad case of RBF, resting bitch face. When I tell you the amount she overthinks me just talking is absurd, I mean it. Women overthink the smallest of things, often to the point of jumping the gun. Try to be patient with it. It comes from a place of love. Obviously, don't tolerate abuse and mistreatment. Just be understanding that they're overthinking everything, including nothing. We stalk your social media way earlier than you think. Just out of curiosity, how is it really perceived if you can't find anything? My socials, when I had them, were all under a pseudonym, so unless I told them they wouldn't have found anything. I've heard that's a red flag, but I'm wondering how accurate that is. Using clues in the dating profiles, running bib numbers, sports rosters. Good luck with that if the guy doesn't use your typical social media. I think most people, upon learning this, immediately assume that it's to gauge dating potential. But for women, I also expect there's a safety aspect to it. Like, should I be going alone into the supply closet when he's around? Or is this guy likely to interpret pleasant conversation as sexual interest? It's the thought that counts, means the amount of thought you put into it. Not that you had one thought. Most women value gifts that show attention to her interests far more than they value expensive gifts. My nephew, about 3 years old, noticed all the rocks and crystals I have around the house and asked about them. I told him most of them were ones I found that I thought were very pretty or interesting. I have a bunch of huge quartz crystals that I mined myself, and others were from special memories or places like volcano rock or arrowheads. I said to him, I don't know, I guess I just really like rocks. Finding special ones makes me happy. That afternoon, baby boy came up to me with something in his hand. I put my hand out, risky move to be honest, and he drops the teeniest, tiniest little pebble in my palm and asked, "Do you like it?" And obviously, I wept openly and told him it was the most special rock I had ever seen and that he's going to feel the benefits of this choice for many Christmases to come. I'd rather receive a small, inexpensive item, or even free in the case of rocks, that shows you really get me, over an expensive one that I have to figure out what to do with. If I really like or care for you, and I know you put a lot of thought and work into it, I'll make room for it, even if it missed the mark, and shake my head and smile when I open the drawer I've put it in for safekeeping. If you bought it in a rush, or because it was expensive and obvious, I'm absolutely going to be able to tell. And I'm absolutely going to start paying attention to how well you treat the people in your life. You're bringing me back to a moment where a guy actually said to me that he thought about making plans, and that should count for something. Some people... God, yes, I'd probably die from joy if my boyfriend hand-painted something for me. There is absolutely nothing I wouldn't tell my husband. He's my best friend and partner. He is specifically the first person I would and do tell everything. Since he has Crohn's and I have IBS, even toilet activities along with subjects like stool consistency get discussed on a regular basis. Get yourself someone who you can be absolutely shameless with, yet still makes you feel like the most attractive person in the world. Finally, a healthy take. That was far too much scrolling. We tend not to tell a guy when he's being scary or creepy. That's starting to change a bit, but it's still dangerous to do it. I feel like we tell men everything but sugarcoat how our brains are actually saying and thinking things. At least for me, that's the case. The full, unedited, inner monologue about why we're actually mad. It's a mercy. How much they overthink and read into your behavior and slight changes in tone. Yup, can confirm. I'm hyper-attuned to tone. We can mean very different things with slight changes in tone and word choice. My neurodivergent gal pal doesn't pick up on it, and she says it's something she's had to learn in adulthood. She didn't have a ton of friends until her 30s. A male friend of mine recently replied to a text of mine with, "Okay," and I've been slightly more afraid that he's secretly annoyed with me ever since. That's facts. Girls got a PhD in decoding imaginary signals. One minute you just say, hey. Next thing, they're convinced the original poster's falling out of love or hiding something. The mental gymnastics is wild. As a man, I do this, but I think it's because I was raised with my 2 sisters and my mom. Granted, my mom had emotional dysregulation, so it's probably for survival. I never told him how much his quiet support soothed my restless soul. In the so many words that passed between us, I could not articulate it to him. When a girl breaks up with you, she probably decided quite a while ago. My sister and mom told me this. Not saying it's true, just leaving the comment here. It's how most women appear to move on so fast after a breakup. Yep, walk-away wife syndrome is a real thing. Women try to fix things in the relationship. All those talks about feelings, all those conversations, all that nagging, that's her trying to fix things. If the nagging stops without behavior changes, watch out. She's preparing emotionally to leave. So true. Girls already went through every scenario, analyzed and weighed all the pros and cons of leaving the relationship, so that when the time comes, they're so ready mentally and emotionally. By the time she does it, there's nothing to negotiate. She decided a long time ago and is just now telling you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps. Subscribe for more and tap the bell so you don't miss the next one.